Okay, this is from the Prevent and Reverse Sleep Problems book by me, Pete Rogers. We're going to be talking about the glymphatic system. The word glymphatic is a combination of, the first part, gly, is for glial. Glial means like glue, to hold things together. Those are the supporting cells of the brain. The brain's main functional cells are the neurons. Those are the ones that send electronic and chemical messages between each other. The glia are like the mama cells, the nursing cells. They take care of the neurons. Okay, now what happens at night is the brain opens up its fluid spaces to rinse away the waste products. In the daytime, the neurons have a very tight blood-brain barrier, and they have to maintain precise ionic gradients around their plasma membrane so they can conduct electrical impulses and function at a high level. However, at night, while the person is sleeping, there's spaces around the brain cells called perivascular spaces of Virchow-Robin. And these perivascular spaces open up in spots in the brain around the neurons. So the neurons then, it's like Victorian England, where they take their chamber pots and they dump them into the street and they hope the rain will rinse it away, the feces. So at night, the neurons will empty out their waste products, and the glymphatic fluid that's increased in amount will rinse away the waste products. And that way, when you wake up first thing in the morning, your brain cells are at their ultimate amount refreshed. It's like you've recharged your batteries. So you're smartest when you first wake up in the morning. And the whole system makes sense. When does an animal need to be smart? At breakfast. When it has not eaten for a while, it needs to be smart so it can go find some more food. That's why we get a little burst of cortisol in the morning to raise our blood glucose, to give us the energy to go out and seek food. Okay. This is just showing that the waste products will go into the cerebral spinal fluid, CSF. It's colored in yellow here. And then they interact with the veins around the brain in what are called arachnoid villi, or arachnoid granulations. And then the waste products are pushed from the cerebral spinal fluid into the venous system. Okay, that way you can get them out of the brain. There's also lymphatics in the surface covering of the brain called the meninges. And some of the waste products go into the meninges. And then they travel down into the neck to the lymph nodes in the neck. So this is another reason why you need to sleep, so your brain can clean itself and you'll be smarter. Here's a coronal image of the brain. That means cut from front to back. And you can see here are the lymphatics in the meninges. Okay, and some of the waste products that are cleared with the glymphatic system also end up in the meninges and then pass down to the neck, the lymph nodes of the neck. Okay. The big veins are called sinuses. So the superior sagittal sinuses runs right down the middle. One of the things the glymphatic system does is it also rinses away any excess beta amyloid, which if amyloid accumulates in large amounts, it can start to precipitate and damage brain cells. Okay, here's the glial lymphatic system. Again, the cerebral spinal fluid coming in here around this artery. This is a penetrating artery into the brain. The space around the artery is called the perivascular space of Virchow-Robin. The fluid then rinses over the brain tissue, the brain parenchyma. These little brown spots are like the brain cells having extruded their waste products, and the cerebral spinal fluid rinses it away into a perivascular space of an adjacent vein, and then it's carried out into the cerebral spinal fluid until it goes up into the meninges or into the venous sinuses. And that's the glymphatic system. So again, the key point is it can only happen in large amounts at night while you're sleeping, and it cleans your brain cells, so your brain cells are all refreshed when you first wake up in the morning, and that's as smart as you get. So the relevance is you want to do whatever takes the most brain power, whatever's your most intellectually challenging task, you want to do it first in the morning. So you're smartest when you first wake up in the morning. So that's the glymphatic system, glial lymphatic system. I hope you found that helpful.